Okay, today is a teaching day. Yay! Okay, so here we have a walk away movement. But I need you to understand everyone that walked away from the left wasn't necessarily heading to the right. I don't know about this particular person, but they are trans. Okay, trans tends to be far left. We're going to go over this a little bit at a time because I want you guys to learn what's really going on with our society. Not what the mainstream tells you, because the mainstream will lie to you 100% of the time. I got to turn down this heat. I'm dying. All right. Okay. But we're going to go over what this person has to say, and I will stop it. And then after that, I got something to show you that I drew up. Okay, here we go.
My name is Carolyn Dawn Scheibel. I am 30 years old, and I am trans. I live and I grew up in West Virginia.
Stop. West Virginia is not your hotbed for an LGBT community. You know what I mean? So you're going to have a lot of people that may not be as accepting as, let's say, Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York. Okay? I hope we all agree there. Nothing against West Virginia. It's a beautiful state. Okay? But that being said, let's move on.
Growing up, I had no real interest in politics. I was always told that it was one of two topics in which you don't talk about. The other being religion. At age 20 is when I began my transition, and I began to also pay attention to politics. I was heavily involved in the LGBT community.
Okay. Generally speaking, the LGBT community is extremely involved with politics. Okay. They teach everybody that the right is out to get them. They don't teach that their very existence is a lie. No. They just tell everyone that we're out to get them. We're not out to get them. Okay? I had a teacher who was trans, and his name was Dr. Steve Dane. Was a very nice person, and pulled me in his office one time because I had a bunch of lesbians that thought I was homophobic, and I was like, no, I'm not homophobic. I just thought what you had to say was funny, and we ended up talking, and he ended up liking me very much. He goes, "You are the kind of guy that is a breath of fresh air. You literally say what you mean, and you're an open book." I said, "Yeah, I'm not going to hide crap from nobody." Okay, so I was one of his favorite pupils until the sad passing of his life a year later. So, anyhow, let's continue.
And it was during this time in which I kept hearing horror stories about people being disowned, attacked, and killed by the far right. I was fed constant misinformation about how the right was trying to take away our rights.
There we go. Yeah, they're trying to take away our rights. We're not trying to give you any rights. Okay? So it's kind of misleading. The LGBT community doesn't, it's not that we're trying to take away their rights. They shouldn't be having these rights to begin with. Okay? It's disinformation. Now, that being said, we're talking about the LGBT community, the whole alphabet soup of all that we don't agree with. There's an individual who happens to be trans or individual that happens to be gay. Do we care? No. I mean, the parent might care or the friends might care, but it's the whole indoctrination that we care about. See? But if we know they're indoctrinating, they're not going to tell their people that, oh, excuse us, the LGBT community, we are here to indoctrinate the living crap out of you and make sure that we stay as an activist group so that we can actually overtake capitalism and socialism. You think they're teaching that? No. Let's continue.
And how if they were given power, or if I outed myself, I would become a target and a victim.
That's not true. There have been people who have been trans and gay who have actually come to the right and kind of fearful whether or not we are actually going to accept them. Yeah, we accept them. We don't necessarily accept the group they were involved with, but them personally, no problem. Just stop attacking our religion. Stop attacking God. Stop attacking.
Self-hidden. I was only out to my friends and family, and I did what I could to transition far away from as many people as possible, due to fear.
Well, of course. First of all, due to fear, but also due to the fact that he was transitioning into a woman. They need that transition. Okay? So I'm sure that there was a lot that was reliant on that as well. And I'm sure that he was looking for some type of community that would accept him. And what better way than to accept him than the devil's arms of the LGBT community? We're here to accept you, dear child.
In 2016, I began to out myself publicly, and I began to join some Facebook groups aimed at helping trans people. It was around this time in which I kept seeing constant posts about how Trump was going to take away our rights if he won, and how Hillary was the only answer.
Okay, so now people always, now what I get, mainly from straight people, not from actually gay or trans, is that we're trying to take away the rights to trans people in the military. Yes, we are. And we're also trying to take away what the Democrats are trying to sneakily do, and that is that those that join the military get free surgery. You sick sons of bitches. We know what you're trying to do. You're trying to feminize a complete society. We're not stupid. You see, we've been seeing this pattern. Okay? The whole thing is, remember, is Sabbatinism. Okay? And to weaken the military. I need you guys to check out Yuri Bezmenov. And he talks about how weakening the military, decrease its size and weaken it from within. Create chaos from within. Do you think that having a society of homosexuals and transgender people is going to weaken that society? You're damn right it does. Okay? And they know that. Now, they will come up with that one example. I love how they do that. This one example. This one transgendered male, he fought and saved the lives of so-and-so. Stop it. That's not going to take away from the overall message of what you're trying to do, and that's Sabbatinism. That person may have a good heart. We're not saying that transgendered male does not have a good heart. We're not saying that at all. He may be a very good person. We're not saying that. What they do is they twist and turn things, okay? Let's continue on.
I have never been a fan of Hillary or a supporter of hers. I was on.
Who could? She's a rotten... I have literally said I think she's the worst human to ever live. I think she's worse than Attila the Hun. I think she's worse than Hitler. I think she's worse than Stalin. I think she's... This woman literally believes that the presidency is her right. That's why I keep saying, everyone says she's not running. She says she's not running. I'm not convinced. Even right now, as I'm talking to you, in March of 2019, I'm not convinced that she is not going to run. No way. No way. I believe that her whole entire life was to get to that point of being in the White House. And she will do whatever it takes, okay, to win. And when I mean whatever it takes, you know what I mean.
Was more on the side of Bernie. But when he allowed the two women to take over his rally, I began to doubt him greatly.
Talking about Bernie. Okay, she's a socialist. She doesn't even realize it. Well, that makes sense. Many of the LGBT community are socialists. They lean very, very, very far left. Okay, but the difference between the very, very far left and conservatism is very different. This is something I drew, okay? This is the political spectrum chart, okay? This is far left, communism, true Marxism, democratic socialists, Saul Alinsky, revolutionaries, new progressives. See how close they all are? And the only thing that's way up here is complete and utter serfdom. And like I said, globalism is communism on steroids because it's 100% collectivism, 100% authoritarianism, totalitarianism right there. So it's authoritarian and it is collective. All right? 100%. That's what globalism is. But they try to dress it up in this cute little thing where you're going to save Eskimos and it's about global warming. They're full of shit 100% of the time. Okay? 100%. Okay. So as you see, this is why it's so easy for the Democrats to agree. They're so close together. They have drifted so far. And with the conservative party, it's kind of gone a little too far. People say, well, how come we don't have right-wing extremists? Well, we do. And here's a rumor, by the way, that fascism is right and that fascism isn't on the left. Fascism is over here as well. Fascism, a National Socialist, all over here. Okay? But what they did was they created this curve and said that these people over here are literally right-wing. So the Nazis, but when you start reading about it, and you read about the collectivism, and you read about totalitarian, it's understanding what kind of collectivism it is. It's more equality and less individualism? Or is it less equality and 100% about individualism? Is the Nazi Party about equality? Or is it only equality for white people? Right? It's about, right? So it's less equality, right? Okay. So, it's all, and the same thing with Black Lives Matter. Okay, same thing. So that's why I told you the left always fights with the left. The fascists always fight with the left. And by the way, here are the anti-fascists. The anti-fascists are the mirror image. They don't like any type of rule or law. This right here is freedom. Okay, Jeffersonian line. Okay, the Lincoln line. The Reagan line. The Hamiltonian line. Okay, this is supposed to be what we call the centrist area. This is the Democratic Republic. Okay, and we have seen that there's pretty much four areas. We have the classical liberal, blue dog Democrats, right-leaning libertarian, left-leaning libertarian, and we have, just outside that bubble, we have people like us called the populist. This right here, from here, religious, ethnic, true conservative, cultural, capitalist, this is called nationalism. This is not Nazism. I need you to understand. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to steal a term, take it away, and put it over, or to take this way and give it to us. Say you are Nazis because you're white and you're a nationalist. Wrong. There's nationalists on both sides. The Natsoc party is actually left wing. Capiche? All right. I should have probably added fascists, and I ran out of spot to write. I'll write it in there. Let's listen.
And after what the DNC did to him, and he didn't fight it, and instead of trying to fight it, he threw his support behind Hillary. That was the final nail in the coffin for me.
Yeah. He was supposed to be a socialist, and he sold his soul anyway. He's a fake. He's a hypocrite. Three-house Bernie, huh?
I had no one I wanted to vote for, no one I wanted to support. It was also during this time in which I started to see how toxic the left was becoming. Because they would say things like, oh, if you don't support Hillary, you're a sexist, you're a bigot. Why?
Bingo. It's all about echo chambers. All about echo chambers. You leave an echo chamber, they ostracize you to either scare you back and scare people inside their echo chamber from never speaking outside of it and never leaving. Or if you do leave, they will ostracize the living hell out of you.
I support Trump because he's racist and a sexist and a bigot and everything.
Yeah. Still waiting for people to give me real good examples of how he is that. But you see, the left spends all their effort trying to figure out how Trump is that because they need to be an oppressive group. They need to. They need victimization. Okay?
I looked for the claims that they were saying. I never saw any. I didn't see Trump as a racist, sexist, or a bigot because I never saw any evidence of him being racist, sexist, or a bigot.
No.
I was forced out of my own community because if I was speaking against any misinformation that was floating around during that time, they would ostracize me. I would call people out for their anti-white racism. And I would call groups like Black Lives Matter and Antifa terrorists because, well, they're legally classified as terrorists under the FBI.
Does that sound like a right-wing person to you? No. Let's continue. Does that sound like somebody that truly left the left wing? Or does it sound like somebody's just scared of socialism and scared of complete and utter totalitarianism? These people have drifted to the right. And I have met a few of these people. All were Trump supporters. But there's a lot. We thank them for the vote, by the way. There's a lot that voted for Trump that still have a very left-wing ideology that may have left the leftists, but they're still leftist, okay? They still have a leftist ideology at heart.
As domestic terrorist groups. There's also during this time in which I began to want to help my fellow trans people because I've spent an eternity, it seems, researching, understanding, coming to understand how everything works.
And there's nothing wrong with that. This is somebody who is truly a left-leaning person, and inside their heart, they want to help people. They don't know like what I know. They don't know this. Okay, so if they don't know what's going on with Sabbatinism and indoctrination, do I really want to introduce that to them? Do I really want to say, hey, welcome to the right, you are indoctrinated? Oh, there's a nice way of welcoming them, huh? No, that isn't what you do. Just like I have a friend who's now a conservative and told me that their son is gay. I say, don't want to sit there and say, you know what, you're going to hell and all. No, I don't want to do that stuff. All you're doing is the same thing that the left would do. You're ostracizing them. You don't want to do that. All you do is let them be educated on their own. Let them come to whatever conclusions on their own. Show them if they wish to read it, if they wish to view it, if they wish to go see it, their choice. Okay? All right? It's not about jamming crap down people's throats. All right?
It's something I'm very passionate about. But I was constantly told by the left that if I tried to discuss or talk to or just be around the right, I would be an outcast due to me being trans. It's only recently that I have actually began to see that they have been using my trans status against me because I am a minority, and they have been using that to try to turn me against the right, saying that they would assault me, harass me, and everything else. Just
absolutely. Do what leftists normally do. Lie, cheat, steal, defame, demean, degrade, deceive, maim, and or kill to win. It's all about creating a Sabbatinist society. A Sabbatean society. That's all it is. They have to create this Sabbatean society. Okay? All right.
Because I exist. It has never been a fun existence. And it has been very hard.
No, of course it hasn't been a fun existence. This person's fighting things in their own head. Are they a man? Are they a woman? How are they? Imagine what the hell that person has to fight in their own head. Did that sound right? Imagine the hell. Imagine the hell. Imagine what hell they have to do when they are fighting in their own head. What to do all the time. No wonder why so many commit suicide. It is a mental disorder. No matter how the left wants to spin it, it's a mental disorder. Just like they all have been. But they're trying to create classifications, just like I told you before. Does that mean they're a bad person? Oh, heavens no. Okay, so what do you do when somebody like this comes to the right? What do you do? Welcome. Do you bring it up? No, don't need to. They will ask you when they are ready. Now, if you see them trying to indoctrinate people, you sit there and go, we don't do that. We don't do that. We accept you with open arms, but we're not here to indoctrinate people. And you set guidelines and say, hey, we're here. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to judge you at all. All we ask is, hey, don't come in and indoctrinate people. Okay, that's all we ask. All right, set guidelines. We're not here to judge you for your lifestyle. Just, okay, we're going to try to accept you for who you are. But we're not going to, well, we don't believe in the leftist ideology. Okay, and as long as you're open and honest, they're going to feel welcome.
Because while I was in the LGBT community, I became friends with a few people. And they were pretty awesome people. But they started to...
Well, it's because you were like them. You were weird or different, just like them. You know what it kind of reminds me of? You ever hear of somebody that has wanted to leave a stressful situation or they wanted to better themselves, and they always find that the people that they have the hardest time believing in their goals and dreams happen to be their own best friends or their family? They're always the ones that try to put them down. You shouldn't do that. Man, you're living a pipe dream. Why do you want to do that? That's bullshit. Why do you want to do that? Right? Right?
Spout the same rhetoric as the rest of the left. The whole, if somebody makes a rape accusation, you should listen and believe without question. That
matriarchal power. I'll talk about that at another time. But that's matriarchal power. That's the more than just the LGBT community. That's the feminist community trying to decrease all power from men. Create a feminized society. Have men be nothing but eunuchs. Take away their jobs. Take away their power. Take away everything that they have. The Me Too movement was not about rape. It was about how long can we go and accuse a man of taking advantage of a woman. And if we can have to make it up, we'll make it up. All we have to do is figure out what it takes. How many women will it take? So for them, it was not about substance. It was about the quantity of women that are accusing. Because what did they always say? Well, how many women will it take? You know that jackass piece of shit little fuck called Frank Luntz? Watch that interview he does in Alabama. The Judge Moore interview. Look it up. Frank Luntz, Luntz. And that cocksucker, for about the whole time, is pushing cultural Marxism. First, he tries to knock down Christianity. Is this really a Christian value? Then he starts going into the Marxism and the whole identity politics and virtue signaling. Well, how many women will it take? Right? Listen, the entire interview, and you're sitting there going, and he's like, well, are you saying they all lied? I'm glad I wasn't in that room. I'd say, yes, Frank Luntz, you faggot. They all lied. I'm glad I wasn't in that room.
Cis white men are the problem.
Boom. Using words that we don't use. Remember, this is to change vocabulary. If you change vocabulary, you have the narrative. You can control. Cis, you are a cisgendered. What the fuck is cisgendered? There's not so cisgendered. You're either a male or female. Boom. But if they can control the narrative and say, no, there's 71 different types of genders. Because Eric Fromm, a Marxist, a Sabbatean himself, said it's a social construct. So you do not have a gender until you pick one. Really? Fuck off.
I kept hearing things like, down with the patriarchy, down with cis heteronormativity.
Whoa, what did I just say? What did I just say? That's the entire reason why the Me Too movement was there. Down with the patriarchy, down with the cisgender, the straight white male Christian. Get them out of there. Remember, that's the whole entire point behind Sabbatianism, to ruin capitalism and ruin Christianity. Ta-da! Johnny's right again. Thank God.
That cisgender is a problem. Oh, and that you don't have to have gender dysphoria in order to be trans, which you do.
What? But you see how this person is messed up in the head? Do you think this person really has gone all the way from socialist to a conservative? Fuck no. Okay?
Don't have gender dysphoria, you're not trans. Period. Full stop in the discussion.
Whoa. You mean they're going to start now having... What's she doing right there? Oh my God, I just called her a she. She wants to be called a she, let her be called a she. What is she doing right there? It's intersectionality wars. It's intersectionality wars. Feminists having arguments with genders. Genders having a war with transgenders. Transgenders having war with black people. Male. That's what it is. It's all intersectionality war.
Non-dysphoric trans people is what they were called. Or as we call them now, transgenders.
Because they're trying to lower the points of transgenderism. Ta-da! Because transgenderism has risen itself all the way to the top of the chart of mental dysphoria or mental problems, yeah?
It was during that time in which anytime I would try to speak up against their hatred of the white man, hatred of the far right, hatred of religion, which don't get me wrong,
I am a genius!
In a religion myself. But there is a key difference between disliking and disagreeing fundamentally with religion and just hating on religious people because they believe in a higher power. While in the same vein, saying that it is racist if you want to stop, say, Muslims from coming into your country because they are by and far more prone to extremist views. But they're against religion. How does that work out for them?
See? Just because they're trans, just because they're indoctrinated into Marxism like this person is, doesn't mean they can't use mental capacity if they're forced to. The time they change away from the leftists is due to some type of crisis, according to Yuri Bezmenov. This person is indoctrinated. They may not think they are anymore, but they are. Okay? All right? They're still using words like cisgendered and, okay, got it? All right. You don't go from being like I said, you don't go from being a Bernie fan to being a Trump fan like that. It doesn't happen that way, okay?
But,
or as they say, I'm not going to go from eating ribeye steak to being a vegan overnight. Not me.
While in those groups, I would speak out.
Stop it. I'm not going to. Group, think of the word echo chamber. Replace the word group with echo chamber. Now, she said that she speaked out. What did I just tell you? When she speaks out, they're going to bite back. They will create their own facts, subjective facts, not real worth of shit. Okay? And they will argue with you and tell you, if you argue against their fake facts, that you're a bigot, a racist, blah, 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 blah. And they will ostracize the shit out of you if you think other than how that little echo chamber thinks. Let me see.
And I would be attacked. I would be harassed.
Ostracize!
I have been doxxed at least twice. I've had my aunt contacted on my father's side by people because she shares the name of my mother.
Because they're so fucking loving.
I have had my sister be contacted by them at least twice that I can recall. I have had multiple people, just multiple people harassing me. And
Harass, dox, ostracizing. Okay? She's been ostracized. All right? Attacked. She's used all these words.
calling me a bigot, calling me a transphobe.
Whoa! Johnny B's a genius again!
Calling me homophobic, racist. I've even been called a Nazi.
Whoa!
By now.
You trans Nazi!
Simply because I disagree with what they are spouting.
Ta-da!
They make claims like Trump is trying to take away.
Make claims. What did I just tell you? I'm a genius! They make claims. Fake facts. Subjective facts.
Their rights. I've yet to find any evidence of this. It is perplexing, to say the least. And it's not... I'm not exactly sure how to even say it, but...
And the left wants to know why the hell I know what they're thinking. Duh! They're all the same. So am I really a genius? Nah. They're so easy to read, though.
It's difficult whenever you lose friends and family due to...
Yeah. You leave the echo chamber. What do you think Facebook is? Get the fuck off of Facebook. Right? It's a little echo chamber group. And they will beat the crap out of you on Facebook.
A political difference. Because growing up, I looked up to my cousin. And when Trump won, she essentially flipped out. She posted a video.
Flipped out. She looked up to her cousin. If she flipped out, she's a leftist. Trump derangement syndrome! The world's gonna end! Because we wanted socialism, we were going to reverse the world! And we were going to create a Sabbatean world! And Trump ruined it! He ruined it! Fuck off.
On Facebook crying and saying how she was so terrified and afraid of the future because she was afraid of Trump's America.
They all are. Because they have been indoctrinated and they have been told anything other than the path that they were leading was going to be a ruin. Oh my God, how could you want capitalism? Right? How could you believe in God? You believe in God? Oh my God, stop saying that word. Oh my God.
I messaged her and I posted on her Facebook saying that we should give him a chance because we don't know what he will do. And she blocked me for it.
Block me.
I looked up to her.
You are out of my echo chamber. Out!
I was friends with her growing up. And she completely removed me from her life simply because I
3 snaps and a zip, sister. You're out. See it.
just said give him a chance. And when he started his presidency, I didn't like him. I thought he was going to do a terrible job, but he hasn't. He's done a
You mean you've actually looked at policies? Oh!
relatively good job.
Despite all of the Democrats' attempt to try to stop him from reversing the New World Order, Trump still manages to get shit done. That's why the left can't stand him.
But honestly, I am afraid. And I'm afraid of the future.
Of course, they don't know where they are. They don't know where to go. You got somebody that's a trans that has left their community, and they really don't know people like me how we're going to accept them.
But not because of the right. I'm afraid of the future because of the left. Because I'm afraid of what they will do if they are given power.
Right.
Because it's bad enough.
You don't have to worry about what they're going to do. They're going to go straight into globalism, and we're all going to be their little fucking serfs. Ta-da! You're going to have a whole entire world where there's going to be mass genocide. You're going to have a whole entire world where we're all going to be stuck in these 10 million or 100 million cities, and we're all going to be jam-packed like little sardines. They're going to take away our privatized land, okay? And we're going to all be equal. We're going to all be equally broke.
Whenever somebody makes a false rape accusation and they lose everything, I can only imagine how worse it can be.
Hello? Hello? Kavanaugh? Hello?
How worse it would be if they were given free reign. And it's hard. It's hard to overcome that fear, but I'm more afraid of not standing up for my own beliefs. They want to hide themselves behind avatars. They want to hide themselves behind masks. They want to spew their hate without challenge.
Absolutely. Absolutely they do. Without challenge. That was the key word. The masks, the avatars, the anonymous Twitter names, those are all things because we know the leftists are just general pussies to begin with. You ever seen them at any of these fights? They're like major pussies. They need 15 people. But if they ever go one-on-one with somebody on the right just kicks their fucking ass every time. Okay? They're pussies. They live in mama's basement.
And that's just wrong. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you look at it, that's just wrong.
All right.
It took me a long time to realize that I'm not liberal, that I'm not on the left, that I am in favor of the individual over the group.
What? What? Let's go back to that. She's in favor of the individual over the group. Okay? But she wants more individualism. But she doesn't want that much individualism, right? Because this is supposed to be the individual line. This is supposed to be, all right, less individualism. It's supposed to all go in the same direction, okay? As opposed to the group, okay? Doesn't want to be part of the group think. But I thought that was interesting. Yeah? What did she say? Want to be more individual than less into the group. Huh. I thought that was interesting. What? Let me see. 1250. There we go.
On the left, that I am in favor of the individual over the group.
Individual over the group.
It's been very hard. I have lost friends. I have lost family members due to this. However, despite my fear.
Now, when I did this chart, the reason I wrote more equality, less individualism is because of the U.S. military. Military does not care. It's all about the group. If it's more about the group and less about because it's about unity, right? It's less individualism, more about equality. In other words, they don't care if you're a man or woman. They don't care if you're black or white. They care about how many stars and bars you have. They care about how many stripes you have on your sleeve. So it's more about equality, less about individualism. But what was interesting is that she said, I actually care more about individualism and less about group. Interesting. So has this person gone this direction? No, they've probably gone maybe a little here. All right. All right. So I'm going to end this one. All right. Okie dokie. Okie dokie smoky. All right. So I just wanted to do this because I wanted everyone to see what's going on in our society and how to read it. That's it. A little bit of education never hurt anybody, right? Let's be educated and have fun doing it. And don't be a bigot. Don't hate. Even if they're on the left. Leave that to me. No, I don't hate. Okay? I just educate. Ooh, I could be a rapper. Peace out, guys.